Hey everybody, and let me get rid of this little overlay here. How you doing? Welcome to the Friday night broadcast, Truthcast, that I had to absolutely get in before the day is done, and I welcome you all here. This is David Snedeker, and this is the Indoctrination, where we what's going on here? I got a lot going on here. Holy cow. Most people will take care of this kind of stuff before they come on. Me, I kind of like to kind of wing it with you. So, welcome one and all. Let me get to your comments real quick. I'm going to get into it quickly tonight. I want to try to keep it short. Jay Aqua, hello, Sned's fam. You were the first in. Nita Bells, I think you might have been the first in over on Rumble. Jay Aqua was the first in altogether and over on X. And that was me. I was the third in. Pumpkin Buster, hey, good to see you. Viking King, howdy Dave, Sned Heads and Mustard Seeds, good to see you, brother. Still processing. Yeah, it takes a minute. Good evening, blessings, Dave, Hawk, and Pups, and you all. Southern Belle, good to see you. Evening, everyone. Lisa Edmonds, RM Holder finally made a live show. Coat is off and tea and snacks in hand. Good evening, you all. Good to have you here. David DeGeorge listening from Connecticut. Connie, good to see you. Hello, Dave. George Pappas, good evening, Dave, and everyone in chat. Good to see you, brother. Viola, good evening. Idaho Sage, good evening. Excuse me, Jasper, no, we're not going to be chewing on that box all night. Okay, thank you. Okay, good boy. He understands no. Hugs everyone tight. Debbie Lands, thank you, Debbie, for that. Let's see. So, my friends, Roy Diamond, good to see you. Video shows is private. That's odd. I definitely make it public. Is that over on Rumble, Nita? You're seeing that as private? Huh. We got 240 in the Rumble over there and a 256 over here in the other platforms. Northwest Ohio, Coat Check. Jonathan, thank you, Jonathan, for being here. Hi, Dave and Sned family. Ellen, good to see you. Southern Belle saying hi to everybody in the house. Vicky, hi, Dave. Good to see you. Hello, Save and everyone. I think you meant Dave. I think I finally caught the live at the beginning. You did. What's going on in Russia? Are reports true? Honey, be coming. I'm hoping to get some more updates on what's going on in Russia tonight. So, folks, please keep your ears to the wall, if you will, and let me know if something comes up. Hello, Dave. I met Lassie. Yes. Hello, Dave and Sned's New Hampshire in the house. Shay, good to see you. Hello, Dave and everyone here. I'm getting worried the left will cheat. Sharon, absolutely. Hello, Q team. Mary drinks beer. Awesome. Hope you got a beer in your hand. Bench Brad, Ohio. All this is an ominous title. I'm not much for. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But you know me, I'm not much for like scare titles or ominous titles or anything like that. That's not my gig. For the longest time, we were just Alliteration Nation, where we would be like Manic Monday or, Trepidatious Tuesday or what have you. And so but I'm definitely not like into what do you call it? Clickbait. Right. But when when we're seeing video of an attack supposedly on Russia by NATO and Israel by Lebanon, private jets taking out key people from Israel, getting them out of Israel. et cetera, et cetera. I think it's probably a pretty accurate title. Excuse me. Um, and this is the, what did I say? The Eve of War, 8/2/24 Friday Night Live with David Snedeker. So yeah, that's kind of what I came up with, because what's happening. Uh, so thank you for that. My back is feeling better. I hope Hawks is as well. And hi, Dave, and all from Patty. Good evening, all from Missouri. Shay, and it is in a way what we've been waiting for, isn't it? I mean, that's kind of like, yeah. I'm gonna get into this. I'm gonna do a little monologue tonight, folks. I really haven't done much of that. MJ Truther, hello Q team, sending high vibes and much love from Utah. MJ Truther, thank you for being here. This is that's awesome. And let's see, Georgia, haven't been sleeping. Glad Dave's on. He seems to get me back after a day of all the bullshit. Thank you, David. I appreciate. I appreciate that. That's kind of what I want to be here for. You know. Maggie, I can't believe the Italian boxer apologized. Was it the Italian boxer, or was it the? Wasn't he Algeria? Wasn't he from Algeria? George Papas, I'll be taking you all to bed shortly. Good. We'll tuck you in, George. We'll tuck you in, Georgia. Hi, Miss Minder Sue from Southern Belle and from Georgia. Good evening, Head Sned and the Snedheads. Renz, thank you for being here. Farhad, my old OG Snedhead and friend. Good to see you, brother. And please, all my best to your family. Let's see. Migatley. Hi, Dave, and happy Friday from former Representative Devin Nunes's district, Visalia, California. I sure miss him in Congress. Yeah, that was a loss, wasn't it? Getting him out of Congress, especially California. Sure are heating up. Susan from Utah. Good evening, Dave. My coat is checked and I'm ready for the show. Gonna grab a quick drink before we get going. Renz, howdy, Dave. Good to see you all. Okay, here we go. I miss watching you, Dave, for hours. You're the best. Janet, thank you for that. Good to have you here. And folks, I am the female boxer apologized to the male Algerian boxer. Why is she apologizing? Tennessee here, David. Always enjoy your groovy spirit. Thank you, Jan. Yeah, Algerian man, right? Yeah. Okay. So let's check our coats, folks. If you are new here, Michael. Hey, Michael. Good to see you. Hawks kicked me off his show private chat the day before for farm mongering, mentioning bombs, shelters, and how far they are away from everybody, etc. I think I'm mentioning that he had to delete. I don't quite understand all that, Michael. But for fear mongering, mentoring, maybe fear mongering. Yeah, I mean, we don't want that, do we? Because we really don't know. We really don't know, Polly, and so it begins. Okay, so folks, if you are new here, we do a process called checking our coats, and I invite you to into the Sned Shed, which is here at west of Austin, and I welcome you to join us tonight. And all I ask you to do is open your mind and be kind. And we do a process here where we imagine we're coming into this warm environment, lovely little cozy Sned Shed. I got my little kitty cat here laying down on my desk. My dog is not far away, and I am cozy, so I welcome you in. I ask you to imagine that you're coming in out of the cold. So you're coming into a place out of the cold. You got a big, heavy winter coat on. It's full of indoctrination and ego and preconceived notions and unconscious bias and all the stuff that's been dumped on us over the years. And I invite you to take off your coat and check it at the coat check and grab a claim ticket. And Your stuff is safe there. You can grab it at any time. Grab it on the way out, and come on in. Grab your claim ticket. Grab a snack. Grab your favorite drink, your favorite person, your favorite pet, your favorite you, and let's download some info without the baggage and the encumberment of the coat that has all of that keeps us from taking in new information. Cheers. All right, my friends. So I'm just gonna tune out the chat real quick here and just talk to you. So I've got a lot of things I want to cover tonight in my X. If you have me on notifications on X, my apologies. The last hour has been boom, 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 boom. Like I'm posting a lot of stuff because I'm getting it ready for the show because I've been busy most of the day. Got a friend visiting, so so my apologies on that. That won't be a common thing. I probably won't share that many things in that amount of time. But I do want to go over some of those with you. I want to go over the deltas today from the Q drops. I want to speak to the state of the world that we're in right now, and what we're seeing is certainly. I don't understand what's happening with my phone. Excuse me 1 second. That was odd. Okay. So, the eve of World War. What's important to understand, the closer we get to the election, is that Donald John Trump will stop all war. He did it when he was president before, and he'll do it again. That's what we want. That's one of the main reasons why MAGA votes for Trump, because there is such a thing as power through strength. And if you are weak, then anything can happen. Okay. If you are powerful, then anybody causing trouble will be stopped by your power. But if you point it in the direction of the evil or the bully or the and this is in general. This is if you're at a party, if you're at an event, and if you don't have strong leadership, or you don't have somebody, a bouncer at the bar, powerful, big, then things are going to happen that get out of control. But if there's the fear that you're going to get kicked out, or you're going to be handled, or you're going to be ostracized by the crowd more than anything, then what you're going to do and what you're going to see is you're going to see a civility in that place most of the time. Of course, you throw enough beer in people and you throw enough drugs in people, certainly there's gonna be problems, right? Especially with women and men mixing, and men hopped up on steroids already have some aggro issues going, much less the fact that they're doing it, and then adding drugs and alcohol to the mix. This is also can be used as a microcosm of the world. And Donald Trump is the most powerful figure in the world in terms of MAGA, in terms of the capitulation tour, in terms of they have it all. Q has it all. And so there was a real sense of order when he was president. Now that these nations like Israel and like NATO, okay, they've gotten away with not being good people and not being good stewards of their surroundings. And so what's going to happen is they're going to try to get away with as much as they can before Trump gets into office, I believe. And they already have. If you look at what Israel has done, it's absolutely tragic. Now, I understand that the verbiage coming out of Donald Trump regarding Israel can be very disconcerting. And I will tell you this, that if he gets into office and justifies this kind of genocide that is happening over there, I believe that we're gonna blow a gasket. Look what we did to Shapiro, Ben Shapiro, Glenn Greenwald, Laura Loomer, those people that were Jewish and that were justifying the genocide in Gaza. And it's not about having a conversation about, well, this happened on October 7th and then this happened and this happened. It was an all-out propaganda move by Israel to justify further annexation and further property grabs by the Israelis in Gaza. And the atrocities that have been occurring over there have just been, terrible, terrible to bear. And so there's going to be retaliation against Israel this weekend. I think we've already seen some from Lebanon to Israel. I believe that NATO is going to try to do more against Russia because when Trump gets in office, I don't see NATO being a thing anymore, and they know that. So their days are numbered. What's important to understand is that these players that are playing out these roles and playing these cards, they're the ones that have been promoting wars for a very, very long time. And it's important to understand that there's no question that what they're doing is warmongering and the continuation of the same old that we have been experiencing ever since we've been alive. Ever since you and I have been alive, this country has known nothing but war. Okay. And what's important to understand is cui bono, who benefits from war, the bankers and the huge, Boeing, Northrop Grumman, all the forgetting some of the big contractors, Boeing, Northrop Grumman. There's so many. Oh my God! And I'm kind of spacing on quite a bit of them right now. But major Lockheed Martin, major players that make, let's call it $10 million for every rocket that's fired. Just, I don't know the numbers, but let's just say that. Do you think that there would be a benefit to firing rockets? Not just for testing and things like that. That's certainly $10 million. But if you start an all-out war, that's 10 million for every rocket. That's like selling a jet, right? Or every two is a jet or something like that. I mean, there's a lot of money. There's a lot of profit. There's a salesman that's making money. There are factory workers that are making money. There are designers that are making money. There are CEOs, CFOs, COOs. There are board members. There are stockholders. War is very, very lucrative. Just like incarceration is very, very lucrative. And the companies that make money off incarceration, they're on the stock market. Um, why does Congress vote to go to wars that we have no business in, that are not even on our soil? They're off somewhere else. Well, guess who's financing so many of their campaigns? The All these corporations that make huge money off war. I mean, look at what we saw with the Gulf War with Halliburton and Dick Cheney's ties to Halliburton and the Bush ties to Halliburton and how they got an award to rebuild Iraq after destroying it. It's like literally, it, it's like it's like giving it's like the lobbyists give our elected officials money, big money, so that they can then exert influence, and they push them to you know bash in a bunch of windows, and the lobbyist just so happens to work for the window replacement company down the street. I mean, this is what we're talking about. And every single thing that we see, every single war, every single conflict that happens, it's not by accident. It's not organic. We're going to get into a fight with our neighbor over certain stuff, or we might, get into a fight with our coworker, over space, or taking our food out of the refrigerator or something like that. We're going to have conflicts, and conflicts in human beings is very natural. Not to the point of murdering the children of our coworker or murdering the children or animals of our neighbor. I mean, that goes to a level of psychotic behavior that is only exemplified by the people that have gone through the cremation of care ceremonies and experienced physical, mental, and emotional and sexual abuse by their parents, by their family members, and then forced to inflict the same upon the most innocent of us all. This is how they harden the leaders of this world. They send them to universities like Yale and put them through the skull and bones and put them through these ceremonies and have them film them having sex with men and other men and in caskets, and these are ceremonies, and have them sacrifice children and get video of that. Have honeypots that are underage that entrap them, or they are totally into, and they get video of that. Now they have control over the kind of this best and brightest, but they're not. They're the richest, and the most pathetic and the most inbred, and so they really can't think for themselves. They can't create like you and I, wonderful pieces of art, because they have no soul. Their soul, their compassion has been extracted from them in these cremation of care ceremonies. And as a result, they are able to rule over us with an iron fist and a strong heel of a boot. And this is how excuse me, cheers everybody, this is how the elite, which they call themselves and we have been conditioned to call them, this is how they control humanity. And not just with force, but also with the propaganda that keeps us from realizing that we are enslaved, that we're enslaved very, very deeply. And it's very important for us to come to that awakening. And I invite you to join me on this journey to our freedom. And the first step we must take in this journey towards freedom is the realization that we are slaves. Until we realize that, what is our motivation to change? What is our motivation to take back the life that has been taken from us? What is the motivation to take back all of the freedoms that have been that were once a part of our life that have now been taken from us? We must have that motivation, and in order to have that motivation, we have to have the realization that we are slaves. And so, as we enter into two possible major conflicts, excuse me, it's important for us to understand that they're trying to get all this in when they can. Because when Donald Trump takes presidency, Northrop Grumman, Lockheed, all the Boeing, all these, Rolls Royce, makes engines for the planes, and all these corporations, their stocks are probably going to take a hit, because if their stock is dependent upon war for their success, that's not going to happen once he becomes president. And that's what's really important to understand here. So what are we going to see between now and the election, and now and when he takes office? Well, first of all, we got to get him into office, right? And but I believe we're not going to have an election, because I believe that we have to overturn the 2020. For Donald Trump to run again, there almost has to be a realization, or him saying, he concedes the election, and he should never concede that election, because it was absolutely 100% stolen from him and from us, right? And from us. This is Mr. Levin. I agree. I do believe that Trump is going to find ways in which to keep those people working. And he has discussed the Iron Dome, and that is a major undertaking. And hello, and hello, Mr. Sciatica. Good to see you, brother. And I don't think we can have an election. I agree. Let's see. I ain't no slave to no one, because if I don't want to do the bad stuff, no one can make me. I cannot be controlled, but by God, my Lord, Father, Creator. Ellen, I like that energy. However, it's not realistic. The fact that you're still paying taxes, if people are still paying taxes, if we're still contributing to the machine that enslaves us, we are still part of the slave system. I do love your attitude. I don't want to squash that at all, but I kind of go beyond the rhetoric and to the reality of it. We're paying, for electricity every month to the Rothschilds system. We pay, health insurance, or go see doctors that are part of the Rockefeller system. We engage in childhood jabs. We engage in public education that has we're funding the grooming and the over sexualization of our children. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about, right? Remembering George Carlin talking about how we are slaves. I miss him. Yes, I do as well. And as you guys know, I got to know him a little bit before he passed, in the years before he passed, and that was every time I got to see him was a wonderful experience. 100%, Dave. Thank you, Angela. Um, yeah, everything is taxed. Yeah. Yeah, I get so angry when I hear someone say we must all pay our fair share of taxes. Taxation is theft. Absolutely. Um, Great to be back with you, Angry Dave. You guys, that's funny. Well, I get angry. I get angry at our enslavement. Um, I get really really pissed off. Thank you, Edward. Please share out, folks. Please share this Truthcast for those who could really use it. This is wonderful to see you all here on a Friday evening. We're about 1,000. We're up over 1,100 right now total. Hello over there to all my Rumble-lights. I want to thank Bear 1007, folks. If you can see um, on the Rumble chat here, when it's lit up like this, these are monthly supporters of mine. Edward and Q911 Patriot, Bear 1007. So thank you all for your monthly support. That really Lockheed Raytheon. That was one of the ones I forgot. Daryl, thank you for that. And Lockheed Bear, thank you. Yeah, the Texas Liberty says. Did I miss that? Let me see. Let's see. Let me get to see. Good to see you. You're back. Thank you. Let me see. A lot to be angry about, but a lot to be grateful for. How to do you do monthly support? Well, there's two ways to do that. You can over here on the subscribe button. I think you can do, like, let's say you do $20 a month or something. You put a card in. Yeah, folks, can you describe that? Like, Edward, how did you do that? Because I've never gone through that process. And Bear 1007, if you guys could share that, I appreciate that. But down here's the subscribe button, and I'm not quite sure how you do that. So yeah, and of course I'm looking at my own thing here. Yeah, okay. So yeah, if you could help us out there, that'd be great. We're one big family. Please check your codes. We create a safe space to be together. Absolutely. Ellen, but remember, the Rockefellers and those that are going bankrupt because of the good ones are taking over their corporations and changes are being made. Think positive. Well, you know me. You know me. If you're in here at all, you know I'm a very positive person, and I believe we're going in the right direction. But that, excuse me. But we have to escape the slavery. Excuse me. Um, let's say. Oh wow. Cheryl Jones, hey Dave, kind of off subject. Do you have any stories about the '92 Lithuanian Olympic basketball team? Things sure have changed. Wow, that was quite the team, wasn't it, Cheryl? I do have I do have stories about another incredible team, and that was the Yugoslavia team. Lithuania, I remember they were sponsored by Jerry Garcia and the Grateful Dead. They did their uniforms in tie dye. I don't remember the players there, but if you think about the 80, I want to say, let's see, like 88 Yugoslav team, somewhere in that ballpark. I played against that team in 1983 in Germany in the Albert Schweitzer games, and it was Vlade Divac who ended up playing for the Los Angeles Lakers. It was it was Dino Raja who played for the Celtics. It was Tony Kukoc who played for the Bulls, and it was the gentleman I forget played for New Jersey. He died in a car accident tragically, and I forget his name. But all four of those guys were on the Yugoslav team. We beat them on a last second shot in overtime, and we celebrated like crazy. And then after, we they actually went to FIBA, and they said they disputed a call that was made earlier in the game, and it turns out that FIBA on our only day off over there made us play them again, and they got rid of the game, our win, and so we had to play them again, and we ended up beating them by 13. It wasn't even close. It sounds closer than it was. And so, yeah, so I'm wondering if I have a picture from that. I don't have that handy right now, but I have a picture from actually the win after the first time we beat them. And I was in a picture with Harold Jensen, who was the go ahead point that beat Georgetown in the 1985 national championship. He played for Villanova. So, yeah, but thank you for that question. Yeah. Yeah. Why wait for someone else to stop letting us be slaves when together we, the people, can do it by oneself, not being a follower and be your own choices you live by? Exactly. Well, that's what I'm doing. And that's what most of my listeners are doing. And that's what you're doing. But we have to realize we're slaves in order to do it. Um, uh, Hey, this is Clay. I retired a year ago after working 50 years of my life. Dave, it would be nice if I had all my income tax money they stole from me back now. I agree, and I do believe that that's going to be the case. That we are going to see that money, and I believe we're going to see more, Clay, because I believe that all the money that was created from our birth certificate and all that is coming back to us as well. Maggie, yes, my Zelle is working. Thank you, folks. That's my information. Zelle is DaveSned at Gmail. I appreciate your support of the work that I do here. This is my number one and only gig, and doing more and more of it because I believe there's more and more needed for us to get through this. And so much of it is just understanding, what is happening. So, with that being said, let me get into it a little bit. Um, let's see. Okay. Let me take you to the let me take you to the Q drops real quick, okay? And just take you to the deltas. Um, okay, there we go. So let me put you over here so I can make it bigger. I need to get a new system set up here. Okay. All right. So what happens is August 1st is Epstein Island, who owns the surrounding islands, close proximity, unique skill sets of Maxwell, submarine pilot, unusual, helicopter pilot. What benefit might that serve? This is
and master's degree from Oxford University, is a private helicopter pilot, a trained EMT, a qualified ROV, which I had to look up what that was, and a deep worker submarine pilot, in addition to being fluent in 4 languages. This is what I had written down before I realized that she spoke at the UN 9 times since the last time I saw her. So with that, I'd like to welcome Ghislaine Maxwell.
Thank you. Excellent. Good afternoon. I noticed that my speech today was leveraging technology to create a global ocean community. I'm going to change that on you, and I'm going to leverage technology to create a new country. Now, I know I speak with a funny accent, and so yes, I did say country, not company. So, with that, I'm the founder of an internet project called the Terramar Project. It's an ocean-based digital platform which I'm going to be talking to you about. I just want to go back briefly to talk to you about why I got involved in the ocean, and because I think it's important to have history. So I started diving when I was 9, having become passionate about the ocean, watching Jacques Cousteau on TV. And it led to a lifelong exploration around the ocean that ultimately ended with me becoming a deep worker submersible pilot. On one of my first submarine dives, I was absolutely so excited. I thought, my goodness, I'm going to see a new sea creature. I'm going to be this amazing explorer. And off I was. I went down into the deep.
This is Ghislaine Maxwell. And this is what we're going to be focusing on with a few of these drops here today. She was a submarine pilot, and she was able to take these submarines into Epstein Island. And what was also close by was not just Epstein Island, but this island. Lobbyists bought tropical land from Biden's brother. Scott Green, a lobbyist with close ties to Joe Biden, purchased Virgin Islands property from James Biden and then extended him a private mortgage. Okay. This is a very close Caribbean island, and an acre of land. The Bidens bought it, an acre of land in the Caribbean for $150,000. Divided into 3 parcels, and next year, a lobbyist close to Delaware senator bought one of the parcels for what had been the cost of the entire property. Later, the lobbyist gave Biden's brother a mortgage loan on the remaining parcels. So this is, corruption, and this is an island that also had underwater tunnels coming into it. Okay. And what's important to understand about that is that, Ghislaine Maxwell was a submarine pilot, and she could actually bring in children with helicopters and with submarines, and also guests that don't have to be on a flight log. Now, remember, folks, the Epstein Island does not have an airport. They would fly into a close by island, and I believe I forget the island that has the airport close by, but then they would have to take a helicopter or a boat or a submarine over to Epstein Island. So all the flight logs are actually not to Epstein Island. They are to Close By Island. If anybody knows the name of that island, please drop it in the comments. But it's the one. It's like Martinique or something like that. And so going back to the drops here, this was August. Oh, that's August 19. I'm sorry. I did not put a 0 so I'm giving you the deltas for August 19. Okay, well that's going to change things a little bit. And this is not even the first; it's the second, and I've already given you that. I gave you that yesterday. So my apologies, folks. We're going down a false thread there. But so at any rate, but a little bit of information. And a little precursor to what's going to happen on August 19th, what's going to be focused on. 1802, August 2nd. Now I'm back on track. Let me get you to that. Share this tab instead. Get rid of this. And you remember Rosanna Dana, when she used to talk about something, and then about, all the way through, they let her know that that wasn't what the topic was. And then she would just say, never mind. Well, that's what I'm going to do right now. So something big is about to drop. This was 1802 on the Q drops. 1802 also brings us to 113. I'll take us there in a minute. Do you think something big is about to drop? Do you feel that? Do you think that August 2nd, 2018 may not be 2018, but maybe 2024? Well, the day is over, but look what happened. Look what happened with what's going on with sorry, hold on one sec. Look what's going on with this war impending, right? This is the reason you did not see a lot of Q signs at the. Let's see if this brings us to where we want to know where we want to go. And it's not. Let's see. That's a real Olympics, 1972, with Olga Korbut. Hold on. Let me see here. The reason you did not see a lot of Q signs: threat received. U.S. Secret Service acted appropriately. This is not a game. Now we know why Q didn't post before the rally. U.S. Secret Service in the drops here. This is there was a threat that came from somebody supposedly with Q. Let's see if this link. The Great Awakening is banned. So the subreddit was banned for violations of content privacy and not privacy, but content policy. And that's why they took down that whole thread. So there's a lot of stuff missing there. October 7th, I'm sorry, August 2nd has a reboot of June 12th. This board in the coming months will be spread and discussed across all platforms. Important to be prepared. And think new arrivals. Proofs are important. Thank you, autists and nons, who were the main factors on the board back in the day. And then also, this mystery woman would like to hug our favorite president. I'm sure Secret Service would have stopped this guy too, but I'm glad I got him off the streets before you arrived. See article below, part 2 next week. A lot of focus here on the Secret Service, folks. Patriot who stopped the possible assassination attempt will be at the Trump rally in a Q shirt. Retweet, there's a chance POTUS might point her out. Q in the spotlight, saving president. And this is probably, Kate. Trump attack foiled. Oklahoma man drove here with loaded gun, police say. So this is a lot of focus around the Secret Service, VIP access this person had. So interesting that we're seeing this at a time when the Secret Service is really under scrutiny, but also what's more important, not necessarily more important, but very telling, is the fact that nobody can search the Trump assassination. It's absolutely absurd what's going on. Let's just go to Trump assassination, and it doesn't fill in, right? It doesn't fill in on the Brave search either. Even it does bring down Trump assassination footage, Trump different things on X and my channels, but that's also the Brave browser. Okay, let's look at the Chrome browser and see what comes up for that. Hold on a second. Let me take you to this other browser. Okay, here we go. And let me go Trump. Okay, assassination attempt details. Okay, that's coming up on, of course, that's DuckDuckGo. Let me go to Google and see what Google says. So it does fill in, it does give you options, but this is new. This has not been happening, as we know. It hasn't been given us the options at all, which I find very disconcerting. But I think they're catching a lot of heat for it, and that's why they've doubled down and they've made sure that they're working properly now. You may not have seen that search. My apology. I thought this. Yeah, that was up. I think that was up. So let me take you to. Let me get you off this one. Here we go. Normally I like to be in these. These are the attacks. Let me bring you up to this. I got to get back on track here, folks. I was a little thrown off by that because normally I like to go over these before I bring them in front of you. All for a baseless conspiracy. Enjoy the show. These are all the attacks of the QAnon, the craziest theory of the Trump era explained. Something big is about to drop. Okay, again, brought up. All these attacks. Twitter today releases ban. Was Twitter told to you by MSM to demonstrate impact? Do you think they got the 4 a.m. memo? Coincidence? All for conspiracy? Enjoy the show. What's being really evident lately is that what's happening with Kamala and how they're pushing her so hard, and yet they're all doing the same thing. So they've got 4 a.m. talking memos. The weird. JD Vance is weird. Trump is weird. The MAGA is weird. That's all 4 a.m. talking memo. Okay. These are all brought to the journalists that I covered last night that Q exposed. And when Q exposes them, then it's all done. That's why they've gone after Q so hard. MSM coordination, pre-planning has its advantages. What does fear look like? What does panic look like? What does control look like? What does coordination look like? What does fake news look like? Sheep no more. We are sheep no more, because we are awakening to all this propaganda aimed and pointed at Q. Okay. Welcome to the mainstream. We knew this day would come. Glimpse what to expect. POTUS's Twitter comments, liberal Democrats, fake news worldwide, fake MAGA supporters, bandwagon shills, paid shills, media matters, intel infiltration, negative dissemination, MSM infiltration, negative dissemination, Twitter bot attack, Twitter controls direct fake accounts. FB, Facebook, Twitter, etc., create massive amounts of fake user accounts for SP, fake user growth, percent, bot use, etc. All activated past 24 hours, full attack mode, brute force, false, violent narrative push. Ask yourself why. Enjoy the show. Their best defense is a good offense. Okay. It goes into the FISA warrant, more on the FISA warrants. White House visitor logs with Obama. FISA equals the start. FISA equals immediate let's see, of illegal acts regarding signers, immediate confirmed start of Hussein's spy campaign to Reagan election was based on false info. FISA implicates this is really important, folks, because FISA takes down the House. FISA is going to be the thing that starts. And we saw last night, I told you that Coates before C before D, Coates before D class. I introduced you to Dan Coates. He was the Department of National Intelligence director under Trump for the first 2 years. And he collaborated with the Russian collusion hoax. So he's going to happen, and then he's going to be exposed, and then the D classification of the FISA and how they got the FISA warrants. And so it all goes back to Obama. Implicates HRC and Democratic Party as feeders of false info with the intent of securing MSM and blast insurance. FISA implicates senior members. This is all what the FISA is going to expose, and this is why FISA brings down the House, my friends. This is absolutely why FISA brings down the House. It's so important, okay? Implicates senior members of the UK and the MI5, what we just watched with Ghislaine Maxwell. Her father and her do not exist, and Epstein does not exist without those in control in Israel. They do not exist without Mossad. They do not exist without MI5 and MI6, and they do not exist without the SIS, okay, which is Israel, U.S. Intel, and the CIA. The White House, Five Eye, Republican Party, Congress state of known corruption in an effort to retain power and rig election and safeguard events by political kill to act while in power, given MSM fake push Russia narrative. FISA equals ties MSM heads, TV behind corporation to Democrat Party, other foreign heads of state and co-op strategy. FISA brings down the House. FOIA does not include FISA. FISA is different. Declassed by POTUS key parts that factually demonstrate the dirty fake dossier was used as primary source to secure highest level of intel spying on primary Republican opponent, plus post-election intel assets for domestic spying on the President of the United States for the office of the Presidency of the United States of America. Logical thinking, public awareness, FISA spying, foundation built, Huber. No spelling errors intended, mobile, unknown if above. So here's what's happening. They put together a fake dossier to spy on Donald Trump during the election and continued to spy on him after he was the president of the United States for the benefit of the office of the presidency of the United States. That, my friends, is the largest, most ridiculous scandal to ever come out of the presidential office. I want you to think about that, okay? Now I'm taking you to tomorrow's, and let me come back to that. Okay. Judicial Watch. This is U.S. Department of Justice, FBI, Peter Strzok, which we found out who he was from Q. And this is how they conspired. The FBI conspired to take out Donald John Trump from being able to become the president. Hillary lawyers announced that there's a successor server that they can request access to. FBI is not thrilled with the revelation. This has to do with the Secret Service server that they used. We have the servers. Q is telling us, okay, we have the servers. We don't need to rely on Clinton. Do you understand this? Q has said we have it all. Q is also POTUS is also said we've caught them all. We have the servers. All right. Capital S in kill brackets. I don't remember what that's for. But maybe it'll come to me. Across all major MSM networks, full visibility has many advantages, right on schedule. What is QAnon, the conspiracy theory group showing up to Trump rallies? Folks, if nothing awakens you to the reality of the importance of Q, I would invite you to look at how the mainstream media has tried to discredit Q, and you can see that in all these articles, and especially the articles I showed you last night. If you look at the August 1 deltas, oh my God, the August 1 deltas go down through list after list after mainstream media discrediting QAnon. Here's another one trying to discredit, and Q says infiltration. August 3rd, 1812. Rod Rosenstein says he is doing what the oath of office obligates us to do. Then why has he, this is from Jim Jordan, failed to comply with congressional requests and subpoenas, been caught hiding information from Congress, and according to media reports, threatened staff on the House Intel Committee? This is so big, and it's eventually going to come out. This is the oath to the Constitution that these people need to take. Remember, you owe it to your country, to yourself, to your children. We stand with you. The time is now, as Q's saying. Think Ray yesterday. Think Rod Rosenstein today. Comms understood. Do you believe in coincidences? Q has told us to trust Ray. Okay. How interesting that. Hold on. That Christopher Wray was the one that said that we believe Trump got hit from shrapnel or glass or something. Let's see. And I want to also show you what's going on with Ray right now. He visited the FBI offices in Memphis, Knoxville, and Nashville, and to discuss the Bureau's work. And then also Congressman Keith Self sends a letter to FBI director calling for action to violent protests. And this is the violent protests in D.C. on July 24th to obtain the records from law enforcement and take actions to ensure the individuals who are not citizens are deported out of the United States. These protests, marked by hateful and divisive rhetoric, the burning of the American flag, and the raising of our adversaries' flag over U.S. soil, are a stark reminder of how little respect some individuals show for the freedoms they are afforded in the United States, said Congressman Self. Such displays of prejudice are not only unacceptable, but also pose a threat to the safety of our country. He's going to introduce a bill that condemns the violent protests and requires the FBI to take steps to have non-citizens who participated deported. This is a first step, if you will, my friends, of that kind of action being taken, as opposed to the no action being taken. Okay, so Q told us to trust Ray. Look at how his comment about the assassination attempt actually brought more awareness to it and more ridiculousness to it, and how they're trying to kind of discredit the whole assassination attempt. This is a couple things about who owns the Washington Post, Amazon, what ABC agency is heavily tied to Amazon. And I will tell you that it's Jeff Bezos, as you know, that owns Washington Post. He got a $640 million contract shortly after buying the shortly after that, he used that money to buy the Washington Post, which is one of the propaganda rags, obviously. And what ABC agency is heavily tied to Amazon is the CIA. They use the Amazon cloud servers. What a wonderful day. A tweet from Eric Trump talking about how the hatred towards their family is just, ridiculous and the next level. And how that's all coming around. August 3rd, here's where we see some of the sealed indictments of 10/30/17. By the way, that was another big thing that Q showed us that we jumped on board with, was that there were, at the time, I think Q said there were 60,000 sealed indictments. And so we were all like, okay, sealed indictments, things are happening. Well, they were. And now I think that number is 500,000. And this tells you exactly how many are in each state. Okay. Pretty cool. I bet a lot of you have never seen this before. Well, maybe if I showed you, then I could say maybe a lot of you have never seen this before. Sorry about that. Let me make sure I'm getting to, for some reason, my comments went off and I have to bring them back. Okay, there we go. I've got you back. I just got you back. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Please get ready. Something is coming. It's not good. I promised God I would warn people. Yeah, we have to be prepared. We have to be prepared. Southern Belle says, I hear you, Pamela, and my faith holds me strong. Let's see. And let's see. Josiane, Silent Whisper, just got home from my dad and seen Dave was on. Good to have you on here with us. Let's see. Okay. So let me bring this up, and also let me take you to that. You can't quite see that as well. Here, let me do that again. There we go. That's what I want. So I don't know how many of you have never seen this before. And you hear a lot of people talking about, oh, is Q real? Is Q real? Et cetera, et cetera. Listen, without Q, we don't find out about these sealed indictments, folks. Okay. Do you understand how important that is? Look at all these sealed indictments. Let's just take Arizona, for example. 499 sealed indictments from October 30th to October 30th, 2017 to February 28th, 2018. So October, November, December, January, February, 4 months. There are 499 sealed indictments. That's just Arizona. From March 1st to March 31st, there's another 159. April, another 147. May, another 97. June, another 110. July, 102. Just in that year, folks. Okay. All right. And Q giving props to the research team of the people that pulled all these up and put this chart together. Okay. California, Central, Eastern, Northern, Southern. Look at all these sealed indictments. Okay. Montana. Who's up in Montana? 69, 19, 24, 29, 17, 16. Isn't that the entire population of Montana? I mean, there's more horses in Montana than people, aren't there? New York, Eastern, Northern, Southern, Western. Look at all the people. Look at all these people, folks. Look at all this. Total filed from 10/30/17 to 7/31/18 is 45,468. 5,000 per month average. Okay. Backup files available. How many are normal? This is what's really important to understand. 1,077 sealed indictments in all of 2006 per a 2009 report. In other words, the normal number in 2006 was 1,077 sealed indictments. This year, there was 5 times that every month. These represent new sealed court proceedings filed in U.S. federal district criminal courts during the periods listed and include criminal charges and search warrants. Some of them have since been unsealed or removed. Okay. So that is tomorrow's Delta. Here is what I shared with you yesterday, and this is all of the mainstream media reporters who were colluding with the DNC and or Hillary Clinton during the 2016 election cycle. These were reported, these were conversations that were exposed in the WikiLeaks, the DNC server that was given to WikiLeaks, Julian Assange, by Seth Rich, who was later murdered. This is the close-up of that. I've got to remember to bring you with me on these. I'm sorry. And we went over these last night, right? Okay. So that's up again. This is how they operate. We have the map, okay? The reporter and the special agents and FBI executives, okay? This is what they're showing us, all right? Here's another one. Reporter, secretary, section chief, special agent in charge. They're working hand in hand with the reporters. Look at the Twitter files, folks, that were released and told us that the FBI was directing big tech on who to censor, okay, and who to get rid of. We know that to be true, okay? And then, look at this one. This is FBI chain of command for the mid-year investigation. Comey, chief of staff is Ribicki, deputy director Andrew McCabe, Michael Steinbach, pre-staff Jim Baker, Tricia Anderson, FBI attorney 1, FBI attorney 2, and they tell us who they are: Tash Gohar, Kevin Kleinsmith, lead analyst Peter Stroke, Sally Moyer, supervisor special agent. All these people have been taken out of the FBI, folks. All of them. Okay? That's significant. Okay? This is what happened to them. James Baker, fired. Lisa Page, fired. Fired. Guys, if you got an FBI job, all you got to do is hold on to that sucker and you've got it made in the shade. Your pension, your health insurance, the whole bit. Cortan, FBI assistant director, fired. Josh Campbell, assistant to James Comey, fired. DOJ, by the way. David Loftman, chief of Justice Department's Counterintelligence and Export Control Section, National Security HRC email investigation, fired, forced. John Carlin, assistant attorney general, head of DOJ's National Security Division, fired. Sally Yates, fired. Mary McCord, head of DOJ's National Security Division, fired. Bruce Orr, power removed. Rachel Brand fired. Conspiracy, fake news. The swamp is being drained. Trust the plan. Justice. Now, folks, how many people are, oh, I'm not for Q. I don't believe in Q. I think it's a LARP. It's an operation to a psyop to get us to complacent. Folks, Q was the one that was telling us who was going to be fired, and then they were fired. Q told us, look at the resignations, keep track the resignations and the firings and the deaths. Look at all these people that were fired. The swamp was being drained and needs to continue. But certainly it doesn't make any sense that that nothing is happening. Okay, you get that, right? So nothing to see here, question mark. Logical thinking, biggest cover-up in U.S. history attempted. Okay. By the way, it also goes on to say Michael Steinbach, John Glacklone, Randy Coleman, Trish Anderson, Kevin Kleinsmith. I had something up on him just a minute ago that is not, where is that? I think I closed it down, but he's 11-3 start. He's connected to all this. That's going to be happening with Coates as well. More about the trying to take out Q. Let's see. Basically, the possible assassination attempt by this woman that wanted to hug the POTUS. No connection, logical thinking, VIP access, threat to POTUS thwarted, U.S. Secret Service threat identified, action taken, comms dark, message sent, 5-5. Not the person, think the connection, this is like having to do, this is when we were starting to, talk about some of the assassination attempts on President Trump before this last one. How do you safeguard the integrity of our elections from domestic and foreign criminal actors? This is August 3rd, 1803 in 2018. How do you utilize the Russia narrative to knock out decades-old election corruption? Why are D's opposed to covering up, cleaning up voter rolls? Why are D's opposed to imposing voter ID laws to further safeguard our elections? Why oppose basic common sense methods that are currently deployed worldwide? Logical thinking, corruption. This is all about, Trump sounds call for voter ID laws to fix rigged system after disbanding fraud panel. This was back in 2018. They were way out ahead of this, folks, and we're going to see exactly how far ahead of it when this is all said and done. So, my friends, let me go to, I do believe we're close. Let's see. Where are they going to put all these people? Are they all going to be executed? They should be. Many of them are just fired, but Q has told us this isn't about just removal. This is about, prison and or worse. Let's see. Friends Bubble, I love watching it all pieced together. Yeah. And the problem is it's just taken a hell of a long time, right? And it just takes a hell of a long time because it's so in depth. It's so hi Soren Sparrow, good to have you here. It's just so deep, folks, that it's going to take quite a bit to get it all out. 1,055 across most platforms, and then of course over on Rumble, we're looking at let me see what we got here. 718. So we are coming up on 2000. We're at about 18, almost at 1800, my friends. So welcome one and all on this Friday night edition of The Indoctrination. I'm David Snedeker, and I'm taking us down through the Q drops. Let's see. Watch Script Keeper tonight. He gave you some shout outs and love. That's really cool. I haven't connected with him. I was actually thinking about reaching out to him about doing something tomorrow night. So I will do that. Let's see. Renz, if you think how long the deep state have been putting their plan in place, this takedown isn't all that long in comparison. Absolutely. Absolutely. This has been going on, my friends, for so long. They've had us, enslaved, controlled for just the longest freaking time. It's uncanny. So it's going to take quite a bit to get us out of this mess, right? So, folks, let me show you this. I really like this, and this isn't the original, but I think you'll be able to enjoy it here. Let me share this.
Well, here's why.
First, he promises that he will carry out the largest domestic deportation operation in history.
Super.
He will also ask for the death sentence for anyone convicted of human trafficking.
Well, it had to happen sometime.
He will close the Department of Education and return all education standards to the states to decide.
Common sense.
He will put prayer back into school, and he will criminalize any race-based advantage programs.
Sounds good.
He will end the Affordable Care Act.
Yep, I can do that too.
He will ban gender-affirming care for adults and children, and he will ban any federal dollars from going towards gender-affirming care.
I'm good with that.
Which means anyone with government-provided health care will no longer be able to access gender-affirming care except for Viagra and Cialis. Those will still be available.
Yep, I'm good with that too.
He will propose a constitutional amendment that gives a term limit to Congress.
Can't wait.
He will deploy the Department of Justice to investigate the Biden crime family and any of his adversaries or political rivals.
About time.
He will immediately pardon all of the January 6thers, and he will create a task force to investigate anyone who arrested, charged, or imprisoned a January 6er.
Outstanding.
He will increase the penalties for underage criminal offenders.
Fantastic.
Strengthen immunity for police officers, and deploy the National Guard to patrol woke cities.
Super.
On day one, he will reassess our participation in NATO and says that every European...
Why do you think the rhinos, the Democrats, and the deep state fear a second Trump administration so much? Well, here's why.
First, he promises that he will carry out the largest domestic deportation operation in history.
How about that? Right? I mean, people actually think that all those things she's saying are really bad for Trump. But in actuality, it's like, hello, this is music to our ears, right? Absolutely music to our ears. Otherwise, we lose our country. We absolutely lose our country. So let me take you into X. Let me take you, first of all, to the front line here to make sure that we're not missing out on any, excuse me, hold on one sec. To make sure we're not missing out on any major news with the war. Oh my God. A young Kamala dancing on Soul Train. Is this real? Come on, that's not her, is it? I can't tell if that's her, but my eyes were burning a little bit. So I don't know. It was, I felt like it was something I couldn't look away from. But at any rate, so let me take you to that. That might be legit. I don't know. It's from Alpha Fox, they got some pretty good stuff. UN predicts disaster of global warming not checked, June 29th, 1989. It tells you just how much bullshit that all is. Gym owner who refused to close his gym. That one family member that refused the jab. That's hilarious. Different herbs for organs. Let's see. Okay, so it doesn't look like. Okay, let's see. DC Drano breaking. I almost never say breaking, so listen up. CISA and FBI have put out a very ominous warning about a potential election attack this fall. Here's the part of their bulletin that really concerns me. They say this PSA is to raise awareness that the DDoS attack on election infrastructure could hinder access to election information, but would not impact the security or integrity of election processes. What? How do they know an attack on election infrastructure wouldn't impact election results in advance? So they're saying that an attack could hinder their access to the information, but would not impact the security or integrity of the election processes. Is this their plan, to have an attack that shuts down key election infrastructure, and then when everything comes back online, we all have to accept the results? And I bet those results will mysteriously support Kamala. If we reverse engineer their PSA, this looks like their plan. We need to share this widely to expose their scam before it happens. I completely agree with that. Okay. Okay. Good to know. DC Drano. Good stuff. Let's see. If you see something like this, Jake Shields, who should I bring on my podcast? I have some really good guests lined up, but want to keep a list of interested people to talk to. Feel free to go on here and, say me if you dig me, if you like what I have to say, and if you trust somebody that's doing something like this, feel free to go on Jake Shields and say, hey, do you know David Snedeker? And give him a link to my stuff. Let's see. Okay. All right. So this is Iranian media reports incoming hours. The world will witness extraordinary scenes and very important developments. This is BRICS News. Let's see what's going to happen. Somebody says, Fiona McMurdo says, buckle up. The Iranians are going to tell the world the truth about blackmailing the Obama administration. Let's see. $152 billion Obama blackmail by Iran. Let's see. TRN crushed it. 152 billion. This is somebody tying in Donald Trump's comment about the what happened in Chicago that I shared with you. Transaction reference number is a unique combination of letters and numbers assigned to every financial transaction, acting as its digital fingerprint. TRN crushed it. So they're saying that he's pointing to this TRN 152 billion that was the blackmail, and they're saying that he pointed to this, and his timestamp might be of significance. Hillary supplied the Stinger missiles that shot down SEAL Team 6. That was what Benghazi was all about. And they knew it. They knew it. Let me take you to the 331 Q drop and see if there was something there that related to that. And maybe all these wives are their own high priestess cult. That's where we'll see the symbolism, the slip ups. If they're talking about Obama, how about his wife? You know, that could be significant. If that was 3:31, I believe it's 3:31 p.m. That means it's 15:31 military. And 15:31 is Obama's speech was given at the Bilderberg Group conference in Brussels, Belgium on May 23rd, 2014, and Obama's comments are chilling. This was sent by a German friend after the YouTube version from the US was pulled. It's unbelievable that Obama actually said this out loud. Lead in was cover, exit out was missing what? So let's see if this is still up.
Generations to build. Ordinary men and women are too small-minded to govern their own affairs. That order and progress can only come when individuals surrender their rights to an all-powerful sovereign.
I'm going to play that again.
And for the international order that we have worked for generations to build. Ordinary men and women are too small-minded to govern their own affairs. That order and progress can only come when individuals surrender their rights to an all-powerful sovereign.
Thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. Gave Roseanne your Gmail account, Dave. I hope she reaches out. I appreciate that. What was the conversation in to communicate? So you can see that if this was okay, if this was a comm, okay, given to us by Trump, that Fiona McMurdo, I'm following her, good, told us, okay, then the timestamp 2 would have been connected. That timestamp goes right to all these wives, which could be nothing, right? But primarily the 15:31, the military timestamp, which is this Obama speech, which shows that he is not a friend to you and I and other Americans. Okay. We are up over 2,000 in the Sned Shed. Welcome, one and all. Thanks for being here for me and for you and for us all on this Friday evening. And much respect and love for you all that are trying to tap into what's going on in the world. Thank you, all of you who are supporting my work here. As patrons of this work. Folks, some of the greatest and most important people in the world have come to us and have been placed in the public forum through patrons, through people who supported the work of people they respected, whether it be great artists, great musicians, what have you. That is the way forward, in my humble opinion, because what the way forward is not going to be is all these big movie studios who are run by the Zionists and the pedophiles to take advantage of their situations and make money from us by us going to the theater, us logging on to Netflix and Amazon Prime and all these platforms. We're making them rich. We're supporting our own demise. Going forward, the new model is going to be supporting the people that we trust and listen to and who are fighting for us and fighting for our future. And that is the new model. And that is the model that I'm all about. And the reason why this is free is because for those of you who cannot afford to support me and are having a difficult time supporting yourself, this message is not for you unless you're interested in dropping $1, dropping $2, dropping $5 just to say, thank you. This is not a lot, but this is what I can give. Thank you. That's all I need. If that, that's why this is free. So all of you can see it, but it's not free for me to do it. It's not free to spend so much of my life. So I appreciate all of you who are cognizant of that. Okay. So getting back to the queue. I'm sorry, the X. All right, I'm going to go to my platform here at DaveSnedeker. And here we go. Let me take you down. This is my pin tweet. If you come in here, you can see my pin tweet. And this is all the stuff we walked through together. Since I started going live in 2019. So you can check that out. And also beyond that, let me take you down. This is us live right here, 885 on X. But we have more on HawksX and his YouTube and his Facebook, as well as Rumble, which is another 773 right now. So let me share this. Now, what you're seeing, what's coming out is we're seeing some things coming out of Pennsylvania with the election, with the assassination, with just this recent rally that happened in Harrisburg, the capital. And this guy, Josh Shapiro, who I'm going to play a little bit of a thing for you here so you can check this out.
Will now go to the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. The 28-year-old teacher was found dead inside her Manayunk apartment with 20 stab wounds in 2011. Her death was ruled a suicide, but her parents believe she was murdered.
The AG's office, led by Josh Shapiro, has long insisted evidence proves the 27-year-old died by suicide, but the Greenbergs are convinced she was murdered, and they're currently suing the city's medical examiner with the hope of reopening the case.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard today's edition of Human Events Daily here live, Butler, Pennsylvania. Today is August 2nd, 2024, Anno Domini. Folks, the receipts hole on Josh Shapiro keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper. Yesterday, we covered a little bit, we'll get into more of it today, the case of Ellen Greenberg, the horrific stabbing death that she received in 2011, just outside Manayunk, Pennsylvania, which is in the Philadelphia area, East Falls, where she was found stabbed 10 times in the front, 10 times in the back, including the back of her head, including her spinal column, twice, according to testimony from medical examiners, post-mortem. And yet Josh Shapiro signed off on this being a suicide. And why would he do that? Does it have to do with potential connections that her fiance had to powerful members of the Pennsylvania legal community? Just some basic questions that we don't seem to have gotten answers to, and that Josh Shapiro doesn't seem to want to give us answers to. Why is it then that the family of Ellen Greenberg has tried for 13 years to just get some semblance of an investigation going? And yet when you go to Josh Shapiro's office, when he was the attorney general, Josh Shapiro would just tell you, oh, no, just a suicide. There's nothing to see here. It seems like there's a lot to see here, but Josh Shapiro doesn't want you to see that. The same way that he doesn't want you to know about the sexual harassment going on in his own office that was perpetuated by one of his cabinet members, a guy by the name of Mike Vera. Mike Vera, a former Republican who decided to become a traitor and go and work for a Democrat governor. The same Mike Vera from Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, that I used to see walking around blitzed drunk out of his find in Walmart. Yes, that is the same Mike Barab. So it doesn't surprise me at all that this absolute lush would take the same philandering behavior to the State House, to the cabinet, when he decided to throw in with Josh Shapiro, stab his own party in the back, and then decide to go and commit sexual harassment the same way that he doesn't seem to have any loyalty to his own party, to his own ideals, or really anyone but himself. What can I say? Couldn't happen to a better couple of guys. But very interestingly, Josh Shapiro, we're told, didn't even want to stand up for something like this, paid the hush money, tried to go after the victim in this case. Why does Josh Shapiro not care about female victims, whether it's the victim of 20 stab wounds in the front or the back, or it's the female victim of sexual harassment in his own office? Plus, we haven't even gotten into how Josh Shapiro signed off on the controlled burn in East Palestine. Stay tuned, folks. We got a big show today. Mike Benz is here. Josh Shapiro, I haven't forgotten what you said about him a couple of years back. I'm not going away. Stay tuned. Human Events right back.
There you have this story that is coming back around for this this particular character, Josh Shapiro, who, by the way, when he talks about his loyalty, also offered to volunteer for the, was it the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces? And so we know where his bread is being buttered. And so very interesting. This
Remember,
is JD
that
Vance at the southern border. I want to share that with you. Elon Musk, by the way, posted this, and you know, he's doing some of this stuff. This is something you'll see on X. You won't see on Facebook. You won't see Mark Zuckerberg reposting JD Vance at the border after the borders are everyone's, you know, saying that she wasn't. And even though, you know, she never went to the border. Here we go.
They started their administration. Kamala Harris came into office making promises, and she kept those promises to open the American southern border. They stopped deportations on day one. They stopped construction of the border wall on day one. We see the border wall sitting here, ready to be completed behind us, and that can't happen because of Kamala Harris's administration. They reinstated catch and release, and they stopped remain in Mexico. So all of these asylum claimants who come to our border, they can now get released into our country because they're not forced to stay in Mexico while we adjudicate their asylum claims. And we have to remember that as terrible and idiotic as these policies were, they cause real human beings to suffer. A lot of you know my story, and I have been a little kid waiting at the bedside of his mother, angry that his mom took something that she shouldn't have taken, but praying to God, please, Jesus, let her wake up. And the unfortunate truth is, because of the poison that Kamala Harris has let come into this country, there are a lot of those prayers that won't be answered. There are a lot of parents that won't wake up, because when you take fentanyl, you don't wake up. It takes your life. So there are a lot of kids out there who have been deprived of second chances with their moms and dads. There are a lot of moms and dads out there who will never see their kids walk down the aisle because of what Kamala Harris has unleashed at this border.
This Kamala Harris border czar might have gone away had it been, I don't know, 5 years ago. You know, 3 years ago. Not anymore, folks. This they can't whitewash this, right? There's no way they can whitewash this. Let me take you to this story, which is very interesting.
Look at him though; he looked mad.
This is just for, I wouldn't call it fun necessarily, but just very interesting. Here we go.
Love, they yell at each other all the time.
Oh, that's true. Ask him. He's been married for how long?
Over 20-something years.
Over 20.
Look at him though. He look mad. You don't look happy, brother. You don't look happy.
He's very happy.
Min Chow, a former TV show bailiff and current Harris County deputy charged with his wife's murder, now ordered not to attend her funeral. Renard Spivey appeared before a judge today. He's facing very specific rules for his bond. David Gonzalez.
Love, they yell at each other all the time.
Oh, that's true. Ask him. He's been married for how long?
Over 20-something years.
Over
Wow.
20.
Look at him though. He look mad.
You look mad.
You don't look happy, brother. You don't look happy.
I guess he was not happy. I guess he was not happy. Wow. Okay. Folks, the internet is forever. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh, this stuff that is coming through is just wow. It's crazy world, isn't it? So this is let me get back on track here with this. Congratulations to all the women who vote Democrat. 0 House Democrats voted to pass the Protection of Women and Girls in Sports. 0. Republicans 219, Democrats 0. What in the hell is going on, and how in the hell can we justify these male boxers, these male cyclists that are competing against women? And how does this not justify domestic abuse and not bring men fighting women? That what are we telling our next generation? This is absolutely insane what we're allowing to happen in this world. But the great thing about this is it is so absurd. It is so very absurd. It is waking people up. Okay. Robert Barnes posted that like anti-Trump judge. Hold on, let me pull this up for you. Judge Chutkan Harris is the daughter of foreign communists. Her father, as Marxist professor, red apples don't fall far from the tree, and Biden picked up a bunch. This was, Kamala's father. He was a Marxist professor. Okay. This is, she's also, she's black. She's not Indian.
Black woman.
Okay, that's why I agree with that. I agree with that. But is she African American? No. But is she African American? There's a difference. There's nothing wrong with that. No one is trying to take anything away from her.
Let's go down into her lineage.
I think you're falling. I think you're falling into a trap of that. All she had to do was say, "I am black, but I'm not African American." That's it.
Don, I think there's actually a trap. I'm not falling in. Let me finish. Hold on. I'm not falling into a trap by that. When she goes down her lineage, many Africans landed in Jamaica and all these other Caribbean islands. So she could indeed
Jamaica's not America.
African American mixed with other races, but she is
Jamaica's not America.
But she is a black woman. She was born here in America. Okay, well let's go into Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz was born in Canada.
Ted Cruz. This is not about Ted Cruz. You're changing the subject.
But you know what? We cannot. It was hypocrisy. I'm not changing the subject.
Yes, you are.
She's a black woman. I don't know what you want.
Cruz.
Okay. Black woman.
Okay, that's why I agree with that.
It's amazing. That's why she's not going to last, because of all the things that are happening right before our very eyes. This is supposedly attack by NATO into Russia, but it has not been confirmed. But this opened up a can of worms, because if NATO starts going after Russia, and it's not going to be pretty. It is not going to be pretty. Anybody have confirmation on this yet? Because this is something we've got to obviously pay attention to. Let me play this for you. This is pretty pretty telling.
I see something that said, take a look at what happened with...
Oh, wow. Look, I'm Donald Trump. I think I'm so cool because I got shot. What a loser. Are people seriously pretending that looks cool? He did a photo op because he heard a loud noise. Loser! Ugh, who's impressed with this guy? America will never be defeated! USA! 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 Wow, now he's juggling. Will he go to magic camp? Who is this supposed to impress? Thank you, everyone. Thank you. As if we're supposed to be intimidated by this. Whoa! This just in. Joe Biden just bravely and heroically dropped out of the race with an extremely courageous tweet. Whoa, that's the bravest and most patriotic thing I've ever heard of. Truly an American hero. Can you imagine anything more impressive? What a legacy. You know, not many people could pull that off. That really is impressive.
I mean, if it wasn't so real, it would be funnier. This is great. Elon Musk says Grok will soon be able to read the omnibus bills Congress likes to make and summarize them so politicians can't hide stuff from us. Folks, this is going to be great. You know, if I were to tell you that my premium account, right, that I can go and I can use Grok, and I can, you know, it's pretty damn awesome. And you can type it in, but it's an AI, and it's not woke like ChatGPT. So to me, premium, I can't remember. I think I spend $17 a month for premium. You don't have to do premium. You know, X is free. I highly recommend those of you get on X, just because it is so. It's the new battlefield. Okay, it's a new battlefield. I want to share this with you here. Speaking of Israel and what's happening over there, I want you to think about this. Is supposedly their promised land, if you will, Israel. This is where they're all from. The reason DNA tests are banned in Israel. All communists. They won't go okay. That's just a little glimpse of the problem that we have over there. I'll let you read this. I won't say it because I don't want to affect some of the platforms that are still censoring this kind of thing. So go ahead and read this. This is one of the reasons why I defend Trump when it comes to this topic, because of how much he actually spoke to the alternatives that were available to us. Okay. This is whistleblowers just revealed that Senator Hawley, Missouri, this is from Nick Sorter, that acting Secret Service Director Rowe personally directed cuts to the Secret Service agents responsible for threat assessments while deputy director, and now he's been promoted. This whistleblower also told Holly that none of these threat assessment agents were present in Butler when Trump was shot, and many of them had been sounding the alarm about problems for months. Just another coincidence. This guy will go down too. Yeah. This is an inside job, folks. Yeah, so Josh Hawley is going to get to the bottom of this, and I look forward to that. I also read you, was it last night or the night before, the letter that was said 4 of the top people have to resign or be fired. 4 of the top people. He's number 2. This is supposedly a drone hit in Russia from NATO.
Пизда. Я думаю, не надо. Охуеть. Охуеть, блядь. Пизда. Я думаю, не надо. Охуеть. Охуеть, блядь.
That's another one that I don't believe has been confirmed, but I'm going to look into the chat to see if any of you have seen confirmation of that or have a link. Mazzanetti, Brunson case 2230-380 passed. Mazzanetti, do you have a link for that? Because I don't think that's come up yet. Overbuild Automotive. Hi guys, late again, but not pregnant. Glad to hear that. Becky, a bit after midnight here. Great show. We'll finish watching tomorrow night. All. Thank you, Becky, for joining us. Let's see. Hey Tracy, good to see you. Silent Whisper, I still don't do X. I will tell you that I don't know what your reasoning is for that, but we have to reward those who don't censor us, and you're on Rumble. I see that. So you're supporting Rumble, which doesn't censor us. So thank you for that. But let's see. Something is going on, you're saying, with the Brunson case today, and then you said it passed. Case Supreme. Let me see if anything comes up on that. Doesn't look like anything happened today. Yeah. Because Supreme Court is not in session right now, is my understanding as well. So please, Mazzanetti, if you have additional information, please drop it here. This is very interesting. Speaking of other platforms, I want to share this with you here.
I said that the picture wasn't altered. At first they said it was altered, and then they said, no, it was a bug.
So
it was a mistake. So my point is these companies would not allow any information out about what happened.
So Mark Zuckerberg called me. First of all, he called me a few times. He called me after the event, and he said that was really amazing. It was very brave. And, you know, and he actually announced he's not going to support a Democrat because he can't, because he respected me for what I did that day. I think what I did maybe was to me, it was a normal response. But I was called by Mark Zuckerberg yesterday, the day before, on this same subject. And he actually apologized. He said they made a mistake, et cetera, and they're correcting the mistake. Google, nobody called from Google. One of the things, like doing a show like yours, your show, you know, you see it on Fox, but where you really see it is all over the place. They take clips of your show that you're doing right now with me. And if I do a good job, they're going to vote for me. They're going to vote for me because it's not just on Fox. It's on Fox is a smaller part of it. You're on all over those little beautiful cell phones. You're all over the place. You have a product. You have a great product. You have a great brand. So you have to get out. You have to get out. You have to do things like your show and other shows. And Google has been very bad. They've been very irresponsible. And I have a feeling that Google is going to be close to shutdown because I don't think Congress is going to take it. I really don't think so. Google has to be careful. Now, I will say this. I believe Mark Zuckerberg, he called me a lot. They are working on, and I think they fixed it.
But what?
And he's not doing what he did 4 years ago with the $500 million, I don't believe.
A couple things there. First of all, I don't trust Zuckerberg, right? If he says he's not voting for Democrats, it's not about who he votes for. That's one vote. It's the $485 million that he spent, he and his wife Chan, who spent that money to rig the last election. That's what I'm concerned about when it comes to Zuckerberg, and also the censorship on his platform of anything pro-Trump. Google could be shut down by Congress. That was a very interesting statement, folks, that we have seen in the drops before regarding Google. And I want to take you to them specifically. You know, Google Chrome is the divine king sign. Okay. Facebook is the Masonic two-ball cane, if you've seen these. Also, Google is Gmail, which is the Masonic Royal Rich Apron. Okay. Google GPS is the Eye of Providence. Okay. The Android product store, the App Store, is all Freemasonry symbolism. Google Play is the seal of Satan. Do you think Google needs to be taken down, folks? Yes, it does. How? I'm sorry, I wanted to bring you here. This is what I was showing you up close. I knew you could see it on the other one, but I wanted to make it a little bit bigger. Do you think Google needs to go down? Well, who's talking about Google going down? Is Harris? Is Biden? Has Obama ever said anything like that? Right? No. No, not at all. Right? So why would Trump say this? And the other thing that I want to share with you on the drops. Oh, and by the way, let me show you also this. There's so much, but the one I'm looking for. How might DARPA, aka Google, okay? Eric Schmidt got Google and got the Google Earth from DARPA, okay, from the Department of Defense. The Google Earth is from a project called Keyhole, and they gave that to Eric Schmidt. Might DARPA, aka Google, play a role in the spy campaign against POTUS, meaning Trump? Think Gmail drafts, think ES resignation, Eric Schmidt. It will all connect eventually. Now, sometimes ES is Eric Snowden, but only on a few occasions in the drops. Most of the time, it's at Snowden, okay? It will all connect eventually, okay? How they used to communicate with each other in the deep state is that they would go to Gmail, they would type in the drafts, and they would never send it, but somebody else would have access to that Gmail and go in and read what they just typed and reply in that same draft or a new draft. And again, never sent. This all happened on Gmail. Okay. They knew what was going on. Google knew what was going on. Eric Schmidt knew what was going on, which is why Eric Schmidt had to resign. He had to separate himself from Google. Now, this is what it is interesting. 1044, April 6th, Obama in Muslim garb. Christian ring. He's also got a Muslim ring on. Pixel surface of Hussein holding an AK-47 and tribal tire, one of many, net shutdown. Fake pic push by MSN. They'll say it's fake, but they have videos in backup so that it won't be fake. Google kill. YouTube kill. They're Google too. Facebook, Zuckerberg, he mentioned in that interview, kill. Twitter, kill. Of course, now it's different because the white hats are in control through Elon Musk, but they might take that down as well. Yahoo kill, Bing kill, Instagram kill. Net will be paused. Remember the pause. Hammer. Hammer is the spy mechanism that Obama set up with Robert Mueller in Port Washington, Maryland, with the computers from the FBI, which Robert Mueller gave Obama, and they illegally spied on you and I, on the clock. But we have all that, and we've been spying on them. You've seen Q say FISA works both ways. These people have been spied on this whole time, and they're all going down. Okay. Here's an example of not ES, but at Snowden. Okay, the bridge 187. 187 is to assassination. Bridge 2 at Snowden clowns. The link. This is CIA. Google, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Russia, ICBM Tech, HRC Open Source, SAP, JP, John Podesta, Tony Podesta. They were the links, and I showed you this last night, to all of those those journalists that were in the Hillary Clinton and DNC emails. The link between the DNC, HRC, and all the journalists is through John Podesta and Tony Podesta's lobbying company that was shut down after Trump got elected. Okay. Yeah. So this is a very, very interesting interview there, folks, that is now bringing to light things like what I just mentioned, right? Very, very interesting. Okay. Oh, so this is what I was talking about earlier. Let me make sure you're with me here. Let me pull this up. This is Josh Shapiro, the guy who was the AG regarding that, 20 stab wounds in that woman, and it was suicide. They just scrubbed Josh Shapiro volunteering for the IDF from his Wikipedia page. Damage control has been turned up to the max. Would be a shame if the Democrat base found out. And here it is. At age 6, through synagogue, the Beth Shalom congregation in Elkins Park, and the Foreman Hebrew Day School, he began writing letters to Avi Goldstein, a Soviet Jewish refusenik in Tbilisi, Georgia, and enlisted others in an international pen pal program he called Children for Avi. He attended high school at Akiba Hebrew Academy, and he was a member of its basketball team captain. During his studies, he spent 5 months in Israel and volunteered for the Israeli Defense Forces. And there you go. And they're scrubbing this, okay? And this is all coming out. Let me take you to. It turned out I wasn't making weapons of mass destruction. It turned out I was. Thank you, Bill Gates, for the death of so many. War News has never been community noted for the treason posts. Might want to follow her. Back in the day, if you remember, I shared quite a few of War News's posts about treason and who was going down for treason. Obama, Hillary Clinton, John Podesta, all of these people are going down, and she's never been community noted for those. And she's never been, by the way, sued for defamation. Why not? Because it's true. This is interesting. This is a driver's license in Pompano Beach, Florida. A driver's license.
Told to come back at 6 in the morning. She showed up at 6 in the morning to this. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? She said most were Somali illegal immigrants. A whole lot of military age men there. And listen, they don't want anybody filming. They don't want the public to see this.
Look at this.
And all you need to vote is a driver's license. Kamala let these people in. And if this is happening in Florida, I wonder where else around the country this is taking place. That's why no matter what, I'm voting for a convicted felon that wants to put America first and America's safety first over Klamaka.
Folks, this is David J. Harris, obviously, but very disturbing because they're trying to get them to vote. They're giving them the ability to vote, to get licenses. They're giving them money. It's unbelievable. Folks, I want to mention this because this is we can't forget what's going on in Idaho and the water problem there. So I just want to bring your awareness to this.
Now you got to want this life.
Look at all the track.
You got to want it all the way to your bones. Now you got to want this life. You got to want it all the way to your bones.
So let's not forget that. Let's keep sharing that kind of information and turn up the heat. Speaking of the IDF, this is an Israeli defense soldier.
We are looking for babies, but there is no babies left.
What babies? Say that again. Say it again.
No, maybe I kill a girl, she was 12, but I'm looking for a baby. We are looking for babies, but there is no babies left.
This is the mentality, unfortunately, that we're seeing over there. That's from Anastasia Maria Lupus. And we've got to be aware of that. Robbie Starbuck's doing some great work. The International Boxing Association is going to pay Angela Carini the prize money of an Olympic champion because her fight against Emain Khalif was unfair. Emain has been banned from IBA fights because he has XY chromosomes. What an incredible move by the IBA. They will also support Satoru Turdibakova, who was beat up in the Olympics by Lin Yu-ting, who's also banned by the IBA because he has XY chromosome. IBA President Umar Kremlev said this about the Olympic disaster. I couldn't look at her tears. I am not indifferent to such situations, and I can assure that we will protect each boxer. I do not understand why they would kill women's boxing. Only eligible athletes should compete for the sake of safety. Olympic champion prize money, but she doesn't get the gold. It's just insane. It's just absolutely insane. But this insanity, folks, what's important to understand is it's waking up a lot of people. That's pretty exciting. Cute little trick. They've redefined illegals as humanitarian entrants, at which point the benefits flow like a river. Undocumented, some things not available. But humanitarian entrants or green card holder, all of these things, free school meals, Head Start, women, infants, and children, prenatal care assistance, home energy assistance program, Social Security disability insurance, cash assistance, Section 8 housing, SNAP food stamps, New York State Medicaid, supplemental security income, possibly. All of these are yes for all those people we just saw lined up trying to get a driver's license so they could vote in Florida and keep the Democrats in power. This is why they're doing it. ChatGPT, what happened on July 13th, 2020 in Butler, Pennsylvania? Keep it brief. The answer. On July 13th, 2024 in Butler, Pennsylvania, an individual threw a projectile at former President Donald Trump during a rally. The object did not hit Trump or cause harm. The suspect was arrested and charged, and the rally proceeded after the brief disruption. First of all, supposedly he was killed. We saw that. And second of all, an individual threw a projectile. This is actually ChatGPT, folks. It's unbelievable. This is a gentleman that I like, Ken O'Keefe, who is talking about Israel.
The biggest threat that we face is not Iran and its mythical nuclear weapons program. It is Israel and its 200 to 400 nuclear weapons and the Samson option. And if you're not aware of what the Samson option is,
This is really important, folks. I've talked about this briefly, but please listen to what the Samson option is. Okay.
The Samson option is Israel says that if his existence is threatened, that it will destroy the world with its nukes. There are many high-level Talmudic Jewish supremacist thinkers in Israel who are ready to launch nukes and destroy Europe and the rest of the world if indeed they feel their existence is threatened. And make no mistake about it, Israel is living on borrowed time. So is Israel going to exercise the Samson option and blow up the world because the world refuses to accept this psychopathic criminal state and all of the danger it poses to the world? No, it's not North Korea. It's not Syria. It's not Iran. It's Israel and the traitors inside the United States that are the real threat. The biggest threat that...
And let me show you this. The Samson option. Israel's deterrence strategy of massive retaliation with nuclear weapons as a last resort against a country whose military has invaded and or destroyed much of Israel. Commentators also have employed the term to refer to situations where non-nuclear, non-Israeli actors have threatened conventional weapons retaliation. The name is reference to biblical Israelite judge Samson, who pushed apart the pillars of the Philistine temple, bringing down the roof and killing himself and thousands of Philistines who had captured him. Okay. Israel refuses to confirm or deny it has nuclear weapons or to describe how it would use them. A policy of deliberate ambiguity known as nuclear ambiguity or nuclear opacity. This has made it difficult for anyone outside the Israeli government to describe the country's true nuclear policy definitively, while still allowing Israel to influence the perception, strategies, and actions of other governments. Some Israeli leaders have publicly acknowledged their country's nuclear capability, all of them, and they have them, folks. They have more than they should. Jimmy Carter stated the number of nuclear weapons held by Israel to be 150 or more. This was said in 2008. Okay. 1976, the CIA believed that Israel possessed 10 to 20. 2002 was estimated that the number had increased to between 75 and 200 thermonuclear weapons. I mean, they've got a lot. Okay. And that's what we need to be concerned about. Because they've obviously shown that they're not to be trusted. Who wants more of this? Better off than 3 years ago, January 21st to January 24th. Overall prices up 17%. Q. Food costs up 25%. Gas prices up 40%. Credit card debt up 46%. Folks, that's in the hundreds of billions of dollars. Home sales down 26%. Real wages down 2%. This is the Federal Reserve Bank of New York putting up these numbers. They would just as soon lie to us in the opposite direction, but they cannot. So formal criminal charges, this is along the Josh Shapiro thing, have been filed against Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro for obstructing federal and state investigations and for participating in the conspiracy and the fraud to overthrow the U.S. government. Documents obtained by Greg Stentrum and Princess Leia through the Freedom of Information Act, FOIA. Somebody came up with Princess Leia, I guess is their name. Confirms beyond the shadow of a doubt it was a coup. It was an interagency effort that overthrew the United States government on November 3rd, 2020. Obviously, we're talking about the election. And William fucking Barr was at the center of it all. And Greg naming names. IG Horowitz, FBI Director Christopher Wray, Deputy AG Jeffrey Rosen, AG Merrick Garland, Michigan AG Dana Nessel. I can say with experience that prison will come out of it. Eventually, they will go to prison. This is not something that's going to be able to be swept aside. This is Greg Stentrum. And hope
irregularities in the November election are brought to light as analysts continue to sift through voter data. In a series of recent tweets, mathematician and financial analyst Bobby Piton shared his results from analyzing voter registrations in Pennsylvania. His first findings showed that there is a stark difference between votes cast, counted, and expected in a Keystone state. According to county records, 6,962,607 votes were cast, while only 6,931,060 were officially counted. Now, while the difference could be attributed to ballots being thrown out due to typical errors, what cannot be explained, Biden says, is the fact that according to the State Department, there were only 6,760,230 voters who punched a ballot. The number of unexplained votes, which is 170 to 202,000, does cover more than enough votes to flip the state red. In another data check, Biden found more than 520,000 Pennsylvania voters had unique last names, meaning there was no family at any level related to the voter in the state. The U.S. Census Bureau's 2010 report found there are nearly 4 million unique last names in the entire country. Which means, according to Biden's math, in order for the purported results to be accurate, more than 13% of all unique names in the U.S. would have to be contained in a state that is less than 4% of the entire country's population, which is statistically improbable.
So I'm just letting you know, my mind, I look at min-max numbers, I'm sure just like you do as a scientist, and I just assume, which is incredibly low and close to, I think it's an impossible probability. But just to show the extreme nature of it, I just assume they were all in that group, just to show how much left still is unaccounted for.
Further, he argues the majority of these last names appear to be fake, which amounts to more than 250,000 likely fake votes cast for Joe Biden.
This evidence demonstrates, and it's through eyewitness testimony that's been corroborated by others through their eyewitness statements, that 130,000 to 280,000 completed ballots for the 2020 general election were shipped from Bethpage, New York to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, where those ballots and the trailer in which they were shipped disappeared. This evidence demonstrates, and it's through eyewitness testimony that's been corroborated.
Investigations, forensics, and so forth, is you go where the facts lead you. You don't, and what you're saying there is, where the facts are, is that there was an interagency effort, conspiracy to obstruct federal investigations into election fraud, massive election fraud. And what we had in 2020 was, I can say this today, I think I would have been more circumspect in 2020, but I can say today with great veracity, gravitas, that it was a coup. And Bill Barr was at the center of that coup, among another group called the Council, the SIGI, which includes the Inspector General Horowitz, and includes the FBI and deputy directors of the FBI, Christopher Wray now. And then it included the U.S. Attorney Generals, which was Barr, then Rosen, and now Merrick Garland. So these people are obstructing these investigations. They retaliate against witnesses. We took all the evidence that Leah just mentioned, filed a disclosure with Jim Jordan and the House Judiciary Committee last July. Very, very detailed. Substantiated specific charges and allegations. I think I provided them to Joe's staff last night. I don't know if he has them, but we'll be posting them later today. Most recently, after 3-year investigation, again, that Leah and the group of people we work with conducted, and in response to court cases, discovery, subpoenas, right-to-knows, FOIAs, we submitted formal charges to the Pennsylvania Attorney General, who is now Michelle Henry, against Governor Shapiro, who is the former Pennsylvania Attorney General. These are specific criminal charges and violations of USC 18, obstruction of investigations, and collusion and participation in massive election fraud. Those are formal charges that have been filed to her. They were also copied to Jack Smith, who has been charged as special counsel by Merrick Garland to investigate any interference with the transfer of power in 2020, which Governor Shapiro was certainly involved in, and the other bad actors we just mentioned. So Michelle Henry now has a dilemma. She's got formal charges, not only against Governor Shapiro, but the district attorneys here, multiple public officials, law enforcement officers, again, former U.S. Attorney General Barr is deeply involved, and she has a duty. She has a duty to investigate. They have prosecutorial discretion, but they have a duty to investigate. They cannot choose not to investigate. She must refer these charges to Jack Smith, who's the special counsel, who's also working on the indictments for Trump. It's quite the mess because it requires both the federal officers and federal agencies and the state agencies, including the Attorney General's office, District Attorney's office, the Inspector General's office. It requires all of them to investigate. And the biggest problem they have is they've had all the documents the entire time. They're their own documents. We use their own emails, their own documents, their own texts. They incriminate all of them. So we have a plan for this, but right now we're sitting here, depending on how they react, but they're in a situation where they now must investigate all the people they were working with, and the evidence is overwhelming. So that's the bombshell, I think. And I think that what will come out of it, people ask me what will come out of it, and I can say with experience that prison will come out of it. Eventually they will go to prison. This isn't something that's going to be able to be swept aside. Not my first rodeo. Leah's tenacious, and it will eventually result in prison sentences, accountability, and people who stole the election in 2020 and who tend to steal the election in 2024, they will be held accountable and they will be stopped.
Fantastic, Greg. Hey, I'm wondering if.
Well, so that's Joe Hoft on the left of Gateway Pundit. That's Princess Leia in the middle there, and that's Greg Senstrom on the right. Folks, these are real people having real conversations in front of a lot of people, and so what's really important is that we make sure that we continue to expose these things and share these things. So if you are on X or you are somewhere else, please go and share the stuff that I'm sharing, or great stuff that other people are sharing, and let me leave. Let me see. I'm not going to get into all that, but this is important regarding the election. Is the Act Blue was just hit with the demand letters from the Commonwealth of Virginia regarding accusations of campaign money laundering that is interfering in the U.S. election. Now, through the James O'Keefe, he's exposing some of this Act Blue stuff that's going through like multiple donations per day with some of these people, and it's all fraudulent. That they've engaged in fraudulent, deceptive, and or otherwise illegal activities in the Commonwealth of, it says Virginia, but it's Virginia, or have aided and abetted others in doing so. This includes hundreds of thousands of dollars of contributions through individual donors in the Commonwealth in volumes that are facially implausible and appear suspicious. This is going to come to light, folks. Look at what's happening. It has to come to light. There's no other way for this to go down. Okay. I want to read this Carl Sagan quote to you. One of the saddest lessons of history is this: if we've been bamboozled long enough, we tend to reject any evidence of the bamboozle. We're no longer interested in finding out the truth. The bamboozle has captured us. It's simply too painful to acknowledge, even to ourselves, that we've been taken. Once you give a charlatan power over you, you almost never get it back. Carl Sagan, The Demon Haunted World. Well, one of the things I wanted to say about that is the biggest bamboozle is that we're on a spinning globe. And this Illuminati pawn, this Masonic legend, Carl Sagan, is one of the ones that was brought on along with Gene Roddenberry, along with Neil deGrasse Tyson, along with Einstein. Freud, Darwin. All of these people were propped up with and edified as somebody of great knowledge. Okay. That I'm sorry, but they're the ones that are lying to us. Okay. I wanted to share this with you. X outperforms Facebook and Instagram. They're crushing them. Why? X had 3.127 billion unique viewers. Facebook had 1. Instagram had 919 million. It's crushing because of the truth. New footage appears to show a second shooter firing shots at President Trump. I've been watching at John Cullen. This footage, folks, is from the first floor window, which is underneath where Crooks was shot. Crooks was up here to the right. And this is flash and gunfire from that window that was captured by a gentleman who was there for the rally. Okay. And this was supposedly the kind of setup that they were dealing with. Okay. Because this was one of those windows from the first floor. All right. And that's where we saw the flash from. Okay. Very interesting what's going on. Okay. American Airlines captain dies suddenly mid-flight. Wonder what happened with that. I'm not going to get into that right now. Massive protests developing on Capitol Hill demanding that illegals are given the right to vote in U.S. elections.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're paying taxes and you're putting money into the economy for a country that you've lived at for over a decade, yes, I think you should have a voice in the people that are making rules.
People are paid, buddy.
You kick us out, you better get a seat right next to us and buckle up. Because it's all of us or none of us.
Do you think illegal immigrants should be able to vote in this next election?
I do. They live in this country. They have a purpose being here, and every vote should count. Everybody should be able to have a place to speak, whether your documentation status. That shouldn't be affected because you're living in this country, so that's going to affect you whether you have documentation or not.
It's not legal for an illegal person to vote.
We know that the Constitution says only citizens can vote, and so everyone should have the opportunity to have a path to citizenship.
Why do you think they deserve those citizen rights?
Because they're human. We're all humans, and it's a basic human right. So, yeah.
So we had these protests here today, and it was all about immigration and citizens' rights. What do you think? A lot of people want to let them vote in the next election. Do you think they should be able to vote?
It should be open to interpretation. I think some people should be able to vote. I don't think you necessarily need to be.
All right, I can't watch these morons. But the thing to understand here is there's two levels here. There's the level of those who are paid to go to those events and create those events and organize those events. That's Soros money. That's justifying all the border stuff. Okay, they did that in Europe as well. But what they do is they also get people on board they don't have to pay, that are so disgusted with Donald Trump or so disgusted with MAGA that they want to make sure that Trump doesn't get into office. Okay. And if they can do that, then they'll go against even things that make sense, which is, illegals voting. Okay. So I wanted to, I think that's it. I wanted to take you one more thing. This is the Trump campaign.
Most renters feel like they.
Let's check this out, and then I'm going to wrap things up for the evening.
Bidenomics is working.
Meanwhile, most renters feel like they will never be able to own a home.
The typical starter home is now worth more than $1 million. For many buyers, that means achieving the American dream of owning a home is increasingly difficult, if not impossible.
And Bidenomics is working.
Listen to this stat. Since 2020, food prices have increased 26%, and we are all feeling it when we go grocery shopping.
Bidenomics, it's working. It's a term we're very proud of, I must tell you.
Gas prices are on the climb across the U.S.
Prices are nowhere near the levels they were at in 2020.
And Bidenomics is
So
working.
if you get 3 consecutive monthly readings on job gains that are less than 125,000, I'm beginning to smell a recession.
Bidenomics is working.
It's working.
There you go, my friends. That's it is not working. It's not even close to working. And we have multiple proof of this. Folks, we're almost at 1,500 across multiple platforms, and then another 1,000 on Rumble. So I am grateful that 2,500 of you are with me in this hour on this Friday evening, about to go into Saturday Central Time at any rate. And my friends, I just want to go to the chats and see if I can answer any questions before I close out for the evening. I want to get a walk in. I have a friend here, a dear friend, and we're going to walk the little doggy Jasper, and then move into the night. Hi, Dina. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm going to be on tomorrow as well. Yes, I'm going to do a Saturday night show. Might even have a special guest on tomorrow night. Let's see. Keep the show going. I know I'd love to, but I do want to end my week, if you will. It's been a long week, folks. So thank you, Gene. Thank you so much. No, did I see the Trump Truth post? Let me go over to Truth. I haven't really been dialed into him. Which one in particular are you asking for? Let me see. Let's see. Awesome. And B1 Sellers. Yeah, which post? My back's feeling better. Thank you guys so much improvement. Thank you. Hey, Martek, good to see you. Yes, it is improving greatly. Just exercise and getting earthing and walks and walks. Let's see. Karen, good to see you. What's happening? See, Dave, can you put up the link to the second shooter post? The second shooter post. Which one are you talking about? Please pace yourself. Take time to rest. Yes. You share enough of your time with us, Dave, and we very much appreciate it. Enjoy your company. Thank you. And she's watching the show too, by the way. She's in the other room watching the show on her phone. Big long time Snedhead and listener. Let me see. Oh yeah. And Faith Over Fear said it is suspicious that the attack of Trump happened in Pennsylvania, and that is where Shapiro is. And for all we know, he may be Kamala's VP, but not with all this information coming out, I don't believe. But thank you, Faith Over Fear, for that comment on X. Let me see. Hey, Angel, and prayers up. We prayed for you last night. I asked for prayers for you, and that all goes well with your news regarding your health. But either way, my friend, we've got the anti-parasitic stuff. I've got 3 tubes of it right here, and I'm going to send you one. And you got to get on that immediately. So let me see. Did you see the agent throw his shoe off the stage? Yes. It kicked it off the stage. And also, as Hawk told us, that he believes that insert is a tracking device. And that's why Trump also wanted his shoes, because he knew that tracking device was in there in case, depending on where he was going to be placed into. Let me go to President Trump. Let's see. Trump, I have agreed with Fox News. Hold on. To debate Kamala Harris on Wednesday, September 4th. Oh my God, that's going to be beautiful. The debate was previously scheduled against Sleepy Joe Biden on ABC, but has been terminated in that Biden will no longer be a participant, and I am in litigation against ABC Network and George Slopadopoulos, thereby creating a conflict of interest. I talked about him last night. How he said Papadopoulos, he might have said Slopadopoulos, but he said it at that Chicago event. And there was also 2 Q drops that went to George Papadopoulos. So there you have it. Thereby creating a conflict of interest. The Fox News debate will be held in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Finally, on a network that actually treats him halfway decently. Again, it's going to be in Pennsylvania. Interesting. At a site in an area to be determined. The moderators of the debate will be Brett Baer and Martha McCallum, and the rules will be similar to the rules of my debate with Sleepy Joe, who has been treated horribly by his party, but with a full arena audience. So there's going to be a full arena audience at that debate. That's going to be fantastic. Oh my goodness. My grandpa keeps America great. Look at that. That's absolutely beautiful. By the way, let's just look at the timestamp just to see if he's sending us anywhere. Also, I do the caps as well. We used to do that. Todd and I used to do that, but also Sir Oliver does that. But I haven't been doing the caps as of late. But let me just go to the timestamp, which is going to be 11:48 p.m. This was just recent, by the way. This just happened. This just dropped. So let me go to the Q drops and go to 11:48. Of course, that is Central Time. And public interest keep high. Uranium One FBI informant Awan DWS. That's Debbie Wasserman Schultz of the DNC. Pakistan Intel, Muslim Brotherhood, Tarmac meeting, Bill Clinton and Loretta Lynch deal, which was Secretary Clinton, or Supreme Court Loretta Lynch deal. That's what that's for, Supreme Court, as 187. So thank you. So, and that's Adam Schiff, 187. So basically that they're calling for the termination of one of the Supreme Courts, and then Loretta Lynch would step in. Primarily, we thought that they were discussing, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, but it was also, I believe it might have been Anthony Scalia. I can't remember the timing on that exactly. So, but what I wanted to bring up about this is Debbie Wasserman Schultz is the one that brought the Awan brothers into Congress to handle all the computers. So she was a part of that Pakistan Intel and the Muslim Brotherhood infiltration into our country. Coming to a theater New Year, side-by-side graphics are important. To be clear, Loretta Lynch was promised the Supreme Court position of RBG, coordinated, planned RBG, big problems. Okay. So was Trump sending us to this? Well, he has asked about the Awan brothers, the Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Pakistani Intel. This all goes back to the DNC, who he also admonished for how they treated Sleepy Joe. Okay. Has been horribly treated by his party. The party is the DNC, right? Okay. So that's just an example. Now, also, 11:48 militarily is 23:48. And here double meanings exist. This is the supposedly the missing Russian sub that sent up the missile of one of his earlier assassinations. Okay. Also, this is the hunt for Red October, where the hunters become the hunted. Russia's most advanced and stealthy nuclear submarine ever just went to sea. Just showing what's going on with Russia and all that's going on there. That wasn't necessarily the exact one, but we do believe that they were linked. This also takes us to 343 in the blue, and let's see if there's anything going on with that. And bad people watching, you are learning. News unlocks the map. Future proves past. Not everything can be stated one-to-one. It would reveal information that would compromise operation as the scumbags scramble to clean up loose ends that are revealed. Bad people watching. Q confirmed. Okay, so that's why things are so cryptic, right? So that was Trump's last post. Elon Musk urges for the removal of all electronic voting machines. That's coming around. He with his grandchildren. So this is the only poll, I believe. Well done. So this was okay. And then also, yeah, let me just close that out. Praying for Florida and all in the path of the storms. Absolutely. Yeah, good night, all. I'll be wrapping this up as well. And thank you for all your comments. Yeah, my friends, bless you, Marta. I appreciate it. And yeah, thank you all. And thank you for, again, for those who are supporting this Truthcast. Your names are below here, and much appreciated for all of your support. And kicking off a new month, my friends, in August here. We've got a lot to do, and we must keep up this fight. We must keep up the information war. And we must, be there for one another. So, my friends, much love. Be well. I will see you tomorrow. And yeah, have a good rest of your evening. Sleep well. And by the way, folks, just something I try to do: end the day thinking beautiful thoughts. Think of the things that you love the most. Allow yourself to drift off and end the day with just a positive, upbeat, just say how awesome you are. Just think about all the ways that you're awesome, that you're incredible. Really, I don't have a channel on YouTube, but we use Hawks, which is his channel is here. Hawks Mustard Seeds 25, all one word on YouTube, and Facebook, Hawk J Marsden. I am persona non grata on all of those platforms. So anything that's linked to me whatsoever, even using a fake name, I cannot get on those platforms. So, at any rate, I hope that's helpful. But just think good thoughts and just love yourself before bed in a way that sends you off into a beautiful, beautiful, deep and restful and peaceful sleep. I love you all. Be well, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.